On January 26th, the Toronto Maple Leafs were in Sunrise, Florida to face the Panthers before heading to Tampa Bay. This sojourn to the Sunshine State is the Leafs' annual Father's Trip, a chance for the Maple Leafs' parents to get a taste of their sons' lives in the NHL.
Yeah, this is both mine and my dad's favorite part of the year. I think playing 82 games, traveling alone all the time, it's nice to have your dad every once in a while.
I think it's pretty neat, especially the new dads, because you're kind of watching their expressions and they're kind of going through what I went through in that first year, and it's pretty neat.
One player who felt blessed to be on the trip was Rich Clune, who started the season with the Marlies, never knowing if he'd be able to make the big club.
Getting called up, getting back on the team, and then coincidentally having the Father's Trip, and they were kind enough to extend the invitation to my dad, which I thought was a very classy move by the Leafs.
The road to the Leafs had been long and hard for Clune. At the end of last season, he found himself a free agent after the Nashville Predators placed him on unconditional waivers and bought out his contract.
When I saw the writing on the wall in Nashville, when things weren't going to work out, I can honestly say in my mind, I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to start doing things the way I want, and I want to become a Maple Leaf.
He stayed with us a little bit in the summer. I was looking for the TV converter the other day because there's a TV up in his room, and I opened the drawer and there's a piece of paper up there, a pad, and he wrote out, I will make the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I remember just looking at that and kind of going, yeah, I don't doubt it.
I joke around with people and say that I actually wasn't entertaining any offers from other teams, and I was probably just going to show up at the ACC in September with my gear. Toronto said that they didn't have any room to commit an NHL contract to me at the time, but they would give me an American League deal, an opportunity to try out at camp. I didn't see a difference, whether I signed a two-way with another team. I think that would all just be ego. I knew that all I needed was that invite to camp.
During the off-season, Clune had written an article for the Players Tribune, coming clean about his battle with addiction earlier in his career.
After the fact, it was a little bit therapeutic for me. Like, I felt like when I've spoken things out loud and written things down, it sort of allowed me to put a lot of things in the past, and you sort of heal when you talk. It's still very fresh in my mind, some of the things that I went through at a young age, and I wouldn't wish them on my worst enemy.
When he finally put his hand up and said, I need help, I think it took courage. He probably thought maybe he'd never get another contract. At that point, you got to go, well, are we going to kick the can over and give up, or are you going to go back at it and figure it out?
His hard work in training camp and early season scoring touch with the Marlies got Clune the two-way deal he'd been seeking. But the hometown boys' first game at Air Canada Centre didn't go quite as he'd hoped.
I was pretty fired up to play at the ACC. I don't want to say I was a little desperate, but I think I tried a little too hard. Came out of the gates a little rambunctious and ended up, throwing my weight around.
He's hit hard by Clune, and this time Rich Clune's going to get a penalty.
And obviously I took that penalty, and I think I kind of hurt the team that night, and I had no one to blame but myself.
Clune was sent back down to the Marlies, but a leadership role there and the realization that a return to the NHL was possible sparked him to work even harder.
I think everything that's happened up until this point in my life is exactly what I've needed. Not always what I've wanted. I needed some responsibility. I needed to, to kind of step up.
That leadership and hard work was noticed, and now with big names out of the lineup, Clune had the opportunity to prove himself, and he was seizing it. Though the Leafs weren't able to emerge with a win in Florida, Tom Clune still had reason to be proud.
I guess I kind of just sat there and I said, Jesus, and he put his head down and went from scribbling notes in his room in the summer to, geez, here we are in Florida. Is it nice that he's playing for the Leafs? 100%. And it's something that, he had a connection to. But probably the best thing in the world as parents, and I think most parents would want, is you know, you had a daughter or son that wasn't feeling good, and now they're feeling good.
Before facing the press, Mike Babcock runs the concourse after every game day morning skate at Air Canada Centre. This game day run has special significance because tonight, against the New Jersey Devils, will be Babcock's 1,000th game. To honor the occasion, Babcock was presented with a silver puck in recognition.
Just, Mike, on behalf of the team, coaches, trainers, and the organization, we'd like to congratulate you on 1,000 games. Thanks, John.
Mike, 1,000 games, from the time you broke into the league till now, how do you think you've changed as a coach?
Well, I like to think every year, every day, you just try to get better. Obviously, experience is a wonderful thing. I think when you're young and you don't have any experience, you should be thinking like experience is overrated. You don't have any, why would you worry about it? I think as you get on, you understand how important it is. It helps you make better decisions. The other thing that's happened to me, for sure, is through my family's support, and then having my kids grow up and having my kids be athletes. I've become a way better coach because I understand what they go through and the mental grind it can be.
That's probably one thing that over the years he's changed, is he wants to have better relationships with his players and have them comfortable in coming to talk to him.
We meet all the time, and I mean, it's not always, you know, pure hockey. It's just about life in general.
My goal as I've got older is I want to make them better people first, better players second, so a little more perspective.
You know, he not only cares about you as a hockey player, but he cares about you as a person. He cares about your family.
Not very often will the coach kind of set the tone as far as work ethic goes, but I think he's here about 6 in the morning every day.
And that's one thing he preaches a lot. If you become a better human being, you become a better man, you become a better player. It just all falls into place like that.
Like, what attracted you to the profession? Why did you want to be a coach?
Wasn't good enough to play. You know, really, I thought I was going to be a professor at McGill University for the rest of my life. I loved being on campus, I loved teaching. Thought that's what I was going to do. I went to play overseas 1 year. I ended up being a player coach. That gave me the experience to apply for the job. I just wanted to go to the Calgary Stampede. Applying for the job at Red Deer College gave me a free way to the Stampede. I had no interest in stopping playing at that time when I got the job. I lost my way and I've been doing it ever since.
Mike, just like that.
I like you too.
Coming off an overtime win in Boston, the Leafs were looking to earn their first back-to-back victories since early January.
Tonight is game number 1,000 behind an NHL bench for Mike Babcock, the 25th man to hit that mark, and he hits it with the second most wins, second only to Scotty Bowman. The Paraso centering pass across, Bozak looks in front, Matthias scores! It's a tie game.
After going down 2-1 with 13 minutes to go in the third period, the Leafs found themselves needing to fight their way back yet again.
Key face-off here with Bozak, who's been winning draws all night long. And there is 22 face-off wins for Bozak. That ties the career high. Here's a quick shot, scores! Tyler Bozak ties the game! That'll do it. We're going to go to a shootout here at the Air Canada Centre tonight.
I'm proud that it's my 1,000th game. You're proud of that, but to me, you know, you just want to win the game. Like, it's the day, it's the game you're playing. You want to win.
Do you think you have another 1,000 here?
We got this year and 7 more here, and then I'm going to stay for 2 more because the team's going to be that good.
On February 9th, as the Maple Leafs were waking up in Calgary, preparing to head to morning skate before taking on the Flames that evening, news was unfolding back in Toronto.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Toronto Maple Leafs conference call. If you have a question using a speakerphone, please lift your headset before making your selection. If you have a question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. If at any time you wish to cancel your question, please press the pound sign.
After the Toronto Maple Leafs complete a multiplayer trade with the Ottawa Senators, joining us is Leafs GM Lou Lamoriello.
He's been a great leader. He's handled every situation that's been asked of him. So this was a transaction that certainly wasn't for today. Dion is going to leave.
Few and far between as far as the Maple Leafs are concerned in the modern cap era. We can go back to January 31st, 2010, when Dion Phaneuf was acquired from the Calgary Flames, and today, yet again, another blockbuster trade involving Dion Phaneuf as he goes.
Real good person, did it right every day. Really tried to be a huge influence on our team. The problem for us, Dion's ready now to win, and we're not ready to win. And so it was a hard decision. It's a good decision for our club moving ahead and following the plan that we've had in place since it started.
If anytime you see a teammate go, I think this is even a more odd circumstance.
Coming as a group, we're pretty surprised by it. I mean, whenever a trade like that happens, you don't really expect it.
Spoke to him this morning, and obviously we've been teammates for years, so it's hard to just say goodbye like that. But I mean, I think it's a good opportunity for him.
Keep in touch, brother. Yeah, brother. Good luck.
One of my really good friends on the team, and obviously our leader. So
it's just part of the business. I think that as players, you have to accept it. Trades are going to happen. I mean, you might lose some friends to trades and whatnot, but I mean, you got to deal with it. It's all part of the job. So we have to move on, start worrying about playing tonight, and it's just part of the game.
Welcome to Calgary as we get you set for the Leafs and the Flames here tonight. A Calgary team that will be taking on a Toronto club minus their captain. And that was a fairly glum dressing room we were able to talk to this morning.
All of the players were very upset and realized what they had lost and what Dion meant to them.
Polak, Leo Komarov, and Matt Hunwick will be the assistant captains in tonight's game. The leadership dynamic is now going to be run via committee. It's going to be an interesting 31 games to the end of the season here, and it's going to be a challenge here tonight.
Come on, boys. Here we go, Lebo. Come on, Marty. Come on, Frankie. Let's go here.
And from Calgary, so it really begins. Dion Phaneuf traded from the team in this city. The other guys are going to have to dig down and pick up those 22-plus minutes per game that he was logging. Able to knock it down, but not quite comes up. Granlund shorthanded, scores! See what they do here. Kadri trying to throw it to the net, and he was pounded by Giordano. And Kadri groggily gets up. Rochelle scores! Hamilton!
Although down 4-1 midway through the second period, Mike Babcock's team refused to quit.
Pushed out into the center ice area, and Clune gets it ahead for Lebo. One man back, Lebo in for the shot, he scores! Josh Lebo coming in off the left wing. And the puck comes free to Jake Gardiner. Leaf defenseman carries to center. Works to the blue line and in. Still with it going wide. Took a shot, he scores! Jake Gardiner goes end to end. And the Maple Leafs are within a goal.
Despite the heart displayed in the closing minutes, the Leafs would fail to earn a win.
After in the corner, Parenteau turns it a dime, trying to push it in, and Keller holds the line.
Obviously, it was tough all day long, and just tried to refocus for the game. And I thought we competed well, but just didn't start the way we wanted to.
Going forward, that's 22 minutes a night. That's tough to make up, right? It's a good defense, but tonight was the first night.
On February 11th, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Edmonton Oilers were in joint possession of last place in the NHL. However, while the Oilers had recently seen their star rookie, Connor McDavid, return to the lineup, the Maple Leafs had traded their captain and had 5 starters scratched from the lineup with injuries. While many were counting the Leafs out, their depleted lineup was still hungry for a win. No one more so than newly named alternate captain, Leo Komarov.
Right now we're in a pretty tough spot. We got a lot of injured guys and lost a couple of games here, so it's we're just trying to win the next game, and even if we don't win it, at least we're trying to compete and play hard so we can be proud of ourselves after the game.
For Komarov, the A was an acknowledgement of a season where he had surprised many by leading the team in goals, hits, and points, ultimately representing the Leafs at the NHL All-Star game.
From the Toronto Maple Leafs, Leo Komarov!
Komarov's journey to the All-Star game was in no way typical. After being drafted by Toronto in the 6th round of the 2006 entry draft, the feisty Finn had spent 3 years playing for Dynamo Moscow of the KHL, before making the Leafs roster in the lockout-shortened 2012-13 season. Despite finally achieving his dream of playing in the NHL, Komarov's ice time that season had been limited.
When I played in the Boston playoffs series, I played like 6-7 minutes, so I had to make a decision. It wasn't a fun decision at all because I came here and I want to play here, but if you don't play, you're not going to get better.
Komarov's return to the KHL saw him notch a career-high 34 points in 52 games, form good enough to earn him a spot on the Finnish Olympic team.
When I came to the NHL, I have a huge respect for the players because you watch them on TV, you played against them in World Championships and stuff like that. And then you go back and you made the Olympics team and you know you can play against those guys.
With new confidence, Komarov returned, prepared to become the player he, but too few others, knew he could be.
I didn't know he was this good, so I didn't know he played this hard and was this competitive. And he's a constant. You can count on him every day. You don't have to talk to him about it. He just does it.
Maple Leafs have won 8 of their last 10 against the Oilers, coming off a 4-3 defeat in Calgary 2 nights ago.
Despite outworking the Oilers in the early going, the Leafs couldn't handle the offensive onslaught brought by the line of Connor McDavid, Jordan Eberle, and Benoit Pouliot. With Nazem Kadri out and early goal scorer Josh Levo forced from the game in the second period, Toronto couldn't muster the scoring touch to keep up.
Jordan Eberle's got his first career NHL hat-trick.
I thought their goaltender was real good early. I mean, we worked hard, had lots of chances. Yeah, I didn't mind our game, to tell you the truth. We had got ourselves in a good spot, and in the end, we don't finish, and they did.
It's all about confidence. You know, it's when you win, everyone is in a happy mood and everything is good. But then when you keep losing, you need to switch the next day and try to win the next game. We lost Dion, who was a big part of this team and a great guy. When you have a tough time, you kind of need to keep everything inside the team and try to stay positive.
While Komarov remained soft-spoken in front of the press, teammates credited his intensity and humor for helping to keep the mood in the locker room light.
The thing with me is I'm actually pretty shy. When you get to know me, I'm way different. But then, like in the team, I'm trying to make some jokes. It's probably like about my English too. Like it sounds maybe funnier than it is, but yeah, I'm just trying to be myself.
Welcome to Vancouver. The Leafs get set for a 4 o'clock start Pacific time. The 9th and 10th Marlies to be called up this season are in Vancouver. Brendan Leipsic and Jeremy Morin. Leipsic will get a chance to make his National Hockey League debut. All sorts of question marks surrounding the Maple Leafs. Game 4 of this 5-game road trip, hoping to snap a 3-game losing streak.
Despite a lack of success in the standings, the Maple Leafs had rarely failed to put in an effort. And on this night, that effort would finally pay off.
Leo Komarov dumps the puck in, and Hunworth will get a change. Dorsett and Clune here. Dorsett's dropped his gloves. Clune didn't.
Dorsett came right out with a real purpose. Clune wisely draws the power play.
Down 1-0 early in the second period, Mark Arcobello would pot the team's first 2 goals.
Mark Arcobello banks the puck in.
Staking the Leafs to a lead they would never relinquish.
Leafs get the turnover and score. Mark Arcobello ends up in the back of the net, just like that. And the hot hand comes right back out. Jake Gardner walks into his backhand. They score. Arcobello's got another one. 2 in 17 seconds.
Then, in his first NHL game, the 21-year-old Leipzig would net the eventual game winner.
Rich Clune with a shot, hit a body, knocked out of the air, they score! First National Hockey League goal for Brendan Leipzig, and Toronto has a 3-1 lead.
Mom and Dad cheering and tears in her eyes. Amazing moment.
First win in Vancouver in a dozen years for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I'm 29 years old already. I want to win something, and maybe not this year, but hopefully next year. You just need to keep the confidence. Everything is in your head. Like if the thing doesn't go right, you just need to work hard. It's gonna come sooner or later. We got a good team. We got a lot of young guys coming up, so it's gonna be good.
Next time on The Leaf.
It will be interesting to see how management handles this going forward. There will be a lot of change, obviously, and maybe not done yet as far as the trade deadline is concerned.